Hi everyone, George Farmer here and welcome to our second Tropica Live. I'm your host, George Farmer, content creator for Tropica Aquarium Plants, and I'm so excited to be here. So I'm really pleased to introduce our guest for Tropica Live this evening, Sarah Casper. Hi Sarah.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Sarah has some experience of Brazilian style aquascapes, haven't you? Yeah. So I'm super grateful for Sarah. We have used Sarah before on a couple of videos on our YouTube channel.
Yes, 2 I think.
It was the Christmas edition and the 5 reasons why we should keep live aquarium plants. Yes. So thank you so much for your help, and it's really appreciated that you're here today. You've helped us out tremendously already. I have to say, Sarah is the most attention to detail on plant prep that I've ever seen. And I'm just like getting the things and picking them apart, and you're like, it's so great, and you'll see the quality of the plants obviously later, and we'll talk more about those plants later on. But thank you so much for being with us, it's really appreciated. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a brief talk about the Brazilian style. We do have a separate video on it, but let's just have a little chat maybe between me and you. How would you describe it, very briefly?
Very briefly, I would say it's hardscape heavy with rock. Yeah,
and maybe a pathway, you'll see that. And it's all about creating a sense of depth.
It is.
We do have a special video for you, which we'll look at right now. The Brazilian aquascaping style has been made more popular over the world in the last 5 years by high-level contest aquascapers such as Luca Galarraga and Andre Longarco from Aquabase in Brazil. It is characterised by steep sloping substrates with bold hardscape, usually with some form of cosmetic sand path and mountain range effect to create an incredible sense of depth and detail. This is enhanced by clever placement and use of fine textured carpeting plants and sometimes small epiphytes and mosses. Particular emphasis is placed on the hardscape composition to further enhance a sense of depth, with tricks such as using larger stones in the foreground and smaller stones in the background to force perspective, giving the illusion the aquascape is deeper front to back than it really is. The use of fine textures and colourful stems is popular in the background to add a beautiful high-impact vibrancy that contrasts beautifully with the remaining layout. Details such as using graded gravels and sand adds to the overall impression of these stunning layouts. The Brazilian style is more appropriate for skilled aquascapers with plenty of experience of trimming techniques and maintenance, but the basic principles can be applied to all levels of hobbyists. Special thank you to Juan Puxades, Luca Galarraga and Green Aqua and Florian Brendel for allowing us to use their stunning photos to show you all some wonderful examples of this Brazilian style. Now back to the studio. So let's talk about some lighting. Lighting is obviously one of the most important, in fact the most important aspect to growing aquarium plants. And Awase have supplied 2 Awase premium LED 80s. Quite a powerful unit, 67 watts each, and we do have 2 of those. These are actually fitted flush to the top of the aquarium, but we do have the option to mount them above the aquarium as well, using some swing arm mounting kits here, and also you can suspend them above the aquarium as well. So it's a great solution. Say you wanted to have protruding hardscape or emergent plants, probably a good idea to suspend your lighting from above. What do you have at home? Do you have suspended lighting, open top tanks?
I've got a mix, all open top.
Okay.
My 90 centimetre has a suspended light.
Okay. Do you have stuff going out the top as well, or do you keep everything under the water?
It varies. I want to make something with lots of hardscape coming out the top.
Okay.
But cool. That's tank in progress.
Okay, cool. So we do have 2 lights will be fitted on here, but just for filming purposes we have 1 here, and we do have a backlight here as well, and that's really going to help bring the aquascape to life, give this sense of depth, and also hopefully give like a sense of almost like a sky, I guess, because it's like a graduated from white all the way to like a darker blue up here. And what is this, Sarah?
It's a filter sponge.
Okay, like you can buy it in big...
Yeah.
Okay,
buy it
cool.
in big blocks. And
we actually bought, is it like a sort of 50 centimetre square portion?
Yeah, I think so.
And then we cut it up with a bread knife.
With a bread knife.
So you can literally saw it, and saw it to kind of the shapes that you want, and that kind of protects the glass, but it also gives you the height that we need. So rather than relying on loads and loads of soil or substrate products, we can use the filter media, which is obviously completely aquarium safe. So we've got our 2 main pieces in here. What type of rock is this, Sarah?
It's Millennium Stone.
Okay, and can you tell us anything about that?
It's a stone with a lot of structure. So
Okay.
it's great for Brazilian style because we've got all these lovely peaks and these gouges cut out of it,
Yeah.
and a bit of calcite, which adds a bit of colour variation.
What's calcite?
It's calcite, it's a mineral.
Oh, okay.
So it can affect the hardness of the water.
Okay.
So you don't want a rock that's 50% calcite.
Okay. Because that's going to really increase your pH and hardness?
It can affect the hardness, but small stripes going through will be fine.
That's okay then. So it's completely aquarium safe. It
Yes.
may boost your hardness slightly.
Maybe.
But because this is a high energy system, we're going to be doing plenty of big water changes. That's going to negate any increase in hardness.
Yeah.
I adore this actually. This is one of my favourite stones. These pieces in particular are just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And you can see how we've used the strata. We're going to use some more pieces later, and we'll show you how we do that, of course. But we've got this huge piece here. I think how much did this weigh? This piece? Do you remember? Was it about 20 kilos?
I think so.
It was.
18.
Yeah. And then we've got this piece here, and this is going to signify the kind of main mountain,
Yeah.
isn't it? And we're going to add some more pieces later. Another interesting fact, I don't know if you can see the GoPro angle right now, but we do have some really clever divots here, which we're actually going to intend planting into. So we'll pour some Tropica aquarium soil powder type in there, and then we can plant some really cool plants in there. It's going to be great. I've never actually done that before, so I'm super excited about that. So we're using a lot of real estate now with the stones, so it's really important to create some gaps in between the back stone and the front stone, and we can plant in between those, and that's going to help create an extra sense of depth. Or we can use these special pathways that are often associated with the Brazilian style.
Yeah.
That's going to topple forward, so let's pop another wedgie one under there.
Would a triangular one be better for this rock?
Yeah, again, that's too tall, isn't it?
Yeah.
But hang on a second. Yeah, you hold that.
Yeah.
I'm going to precariously balance this a second, just a sec. Move that forward a touch.
Yep.
And then that should let go.
Yep, it will fall back, but with soil underneath, it will be supported.
Yeah, so if you let go.
Yep, it's going to fall all the way.
Yeah, okay.
Because the soil will support a lot in between the sponge. Here.
Yeah, we are working with, heavy stones and glass, so be careful, of course.
How about by here, so it lines up a bit with this line?
Yeah, that's nice. And then we can maybe, with the substrate, we can really create something. We need a bit more sponge. So, time to put our substrate in. We do have 3 types of substrate we're going to use. We're going to use, in fact, more than that. We're going to use regular Tropica aquarium soil, Tropica soil powder, and then we have 3 types of cosmetic sand and gravel. So I think the first thing we do is going to put the divider in, isn't it? So the idea is, in a lot of Brazilian style aquascapes, we really make a big deal out of this pathway. It really helps to create the sense of depth. So to do that and to make sure that we don't mix the soil and the sand, we need to use a divider. So let's pop that in.
Should we move the light back while we do this part?
It might. What's the exposure like if I move this light back? You lift up that side, Sarah?
Yep.
That's it. Does that make much difference, Thomas?
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah? Cool. So make sure the bottom part is completely flat. We've cut this, so the bottom part is completely flat, hopefully. And then we were going to kind of do this, weren't we?
Yep.
So
because it's just the front section.
the very front section, we want a tiny thin layer of cosmetic sand, and then we want a little. Is it going to go like that, isn't it? So we're going to have, and then the pathway like this.
Yep. But we can always have the top of the pool on top of a layer of soil.
Okay.
Because you won't see it from the very front.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, so should we do that? And then if I hold it, are you going to pour?
Yeah, I can pour.
Using your fancy bonsai
scoops.
Are you into bonsai, or do you just get them for aquascaping purposes?
I would like to be into bonsai, but I'm not actually.
Okay.
But I would like outdoor bonsai.
Ah, okay.
And at the moment, my garden is, to put it mildly, work in progress.
Yeah.
But these scoops are great for pouring soil in.
They're really handy, aren't they?
They are, and they're really cheap as well.
They're very ergonomic. I think that's enough, Sarah, because we don't want too much.
Do we need a bit more at the front here, maybe?
I think we're okay. Oh yeah, go on then, just a touch.
A little bit.
You can obviously use the paintbrushes later to tidy up.
Exactly.
So we'll keep that there, won't we? And then we're going to fill up with the soil. Oh,
Yeah.
this is a bit...
That little bit there, yeah, we
quite-
might need to cut that.
Question for George, do you ever lose motivation in the hobby? If so, what do you do to give yourself that kick back into shape? Occasionally I have lost motivation in the hobby, and for various reasons. And one of the symptoms of that is letting my aquascape kind of be neglected, and algae and poor plant growth, etc. So what I do then is, if I don't have the motivation to kind of fix it, what I'll do then is actually strip it all down, get that tank emptied, because it's much better to look at an empty blank canvas than it is looking at an ugly algae filled aquarium.
Okay.
And actually by the process of emptying that tank, you see this, actually it's a beautiful aquarium.
It
You
is.
think that's a nice aquarium, it's blank canvas, infinite sort of potential to create something
Yeah.
beautiful, and then you get that, you know, oh, I can create something now. I'm not looking at algae anymore, I'm not looking at unhealthy plants, I'm looking
Yeah.
at something that can only get better.
Exactly.
And it's much easier to get better from a blank canvas than it is
It is.
from something horrible.
It is.
So great question, Mark. Thank you for that, mate. Another question. You can read this one out. Sarah.
Yep, George and Sarah, what do you both think is the best size for a starting tank? I understand small is not always better, so how many litres do you think would be a good start?
I'll let you answer that. I'm going to carry on with this bit. I'm
Yep,
gonna
go
come
for
over
it.
here.
I actually think if you've got more filtration, so over-filtration, you can actually do a lot in a small 20-litre tank. But I think you also need to think about the shape of the tank. If you've got a small tank, then the nitrogen cycle can easily go completely out of control, and worst case scenario, you kill all the fish. So I would say for me, a 60 centimetre, 60 litre aquarium, what's that in gallons?
15
15?
US gallons or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or a long 20 litre, so 5 US gallon tank is quite nice.
Good answer.
What do you think?
I love the classic kind of 2-foot aquarium, 60 centimetre.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 15 gallon, 10 gallon minimum. And
What
it's a good kind of price point, and there's a
It
lot
is.
of options out there for that size
Yeah.
as well. So, have you used it many times?
I have used it many times.
I've used it in, I think this is my 137th scape now I've used this in.
Wow.
I just made that number up, but it sounds pretty impressive.
It does sound good.
Yeah, I've used this in many aquascapes. Proven performer. For those that don't know, it's a complete substrate system, so it contains lots of nutrients for the plant roots. It helps to buffer the water, reduce the pH slightly. Doesn't need rinsing. In fact, you shouldn't
No.
rinse it. You can just add it in one go. Doesn't need a base layer. Doesn't need any extra nutrients put it in. Although you can use Tropica nutrition capsules if you wanted to add extra nutrients later on.
Yep.
But yeah, lovely product. Big fan, and yeah, can't go wrong.
No.
You can probably move that light forward now.
Yep.
And do we just kind of pour in gently, or we're going to use your fancy bonsai scoop?
It's up to you. It might. Do you want?
Probably
is this,
pour the first bag in.
Yeah.
rough
Is
and
this
ready, can't we?
normal soil?
This is the normal.
So this is going at the back.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit down the sides.
Yeah. You've
Shall I
grown.
guide? I've grown. I'm taller now.
So one of the good things about using this filter sponge is we don't need so much soil like we explained earlier. Just give me a shout if it's going too
Yeah.
quickly.
Stop.
I'll go
It's
start
going
doing
quite
some of the other
far down
side.
there. Might use my fancy bonsai scoops
Yeah,
or a paintbrush.
paintbrush is good. Small one or big one?
Small one, I think,
There you go.
just so I can get behind the rock.
So I'll let you do that before I pour any more. There's a bit
Yeah.
more I can do here. Oh, we've got some escapees already.
Yeah.
It's normally the shrimp that do this.
It is. I'm very messy when I put hardscape
Have
in
you heard
there.
that tip where you can use magnets to pick up, because it's the iron content?
No.
You can get these like extendable, you know, like an aerial, like the old school
Yeah.
car aerials that go. You get one of those with the magnet on the end.
Okay.
I don't know what they use for real.
No.
But you can pick out your individual clumps of soil.
Can we take the magnets off the door?
It's an expensive way of doing it, but
Yeah. Do we want to have a layer of powder on top of this because we're using in vitro plants
yeah,
only?
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. But we'll fill the rest, all the soil that we need.
Yeah.
We have got 3 bags. We did like a shopping list for those that subscribe to the newsletter. You'll know like the plants and the soil amount of products and how much everything costs. So this is another, good reason why you should subscribe to the newsletter. So you'll get a kind of a pre-warning of the next Tropica Live. So you can actually kind of follow along if you wanted to. And we do encourage people, if they want to kind of replicate this system and Aquascape, they can absolutely do that. And they can use the hashtag Tropica Live, and we'll keep an eye on that on our social media and potentially feature your escapes. Oh, that's definitely going to creep forward because the thing isn't quite down.
Yeah.
We're nearly there.
Yeah.
Get some more soil down there.
Yeah. Powder.
Yeah.
Scoops.
Yep.
Sound effects.
Pew pew. Okay, you've got small hands. Do you want to do that? We'll move this back actually.
Okay.
It's just a second.
This is where it's useful to be.
Someone says in the comments, it looks a bit like an iwagumi so far. Do you want to comment? Yes, I do. It is an iwagumi at the moment because it's rocks. So, fair comment. Question, do you guys use super glue at all in tanks? Yes. Any cyanacrylate based glue, is great for gluing things together. You can glue stones together, you can glue wood to stone, you can glue moss to wood. Yeah, it's perfectly safe in aquariums. I like to generally use the gel type, but you can use the liquid type, especially if you want to kind of cement things by using another product. So what you can do is mix the super glue with something like filter wool or kitchen towel or even cigarette filter tips, and you can use that to create a very strong bond. So yeah, super glue is a great way to bond things together. So we're going to use a big variety of plants, 10 species altogether, all Tropica 1-2 Grow. Tropica 1-2 Grow are my absolute favourite category of plants. They're guaranteed to be free from algae, pesticides, pests, snails, disease, and many of them are actually grown in a liquid media now, which means they've almost already converted to their underwater growth. So when you do put them in your aquarium, fill your aquarium up with water, of course, they're going to start growing straight away. Conversely, if you buy a regular potted plant from Tropica, that's going to be grown hydroponically, which means it's growing out of water. And that has its advantages, but it also has some minor disadvantages in that it can take some time to convert to its underwater form. And during that process, depending on your system, you can get some melt, you can get some die off, and usually it will come back no problem. But the advantage, like I said, with the 1-2 Grow, that plant is just going to start growing right away. A couple of things to bear in mind with the 1-2 Grow is they're baby plants and they need a lot of food. So for that reason, we'll talk about maintenance later, but it's really important to give them some decent amount of food right from day one. So we've got that with the Tropica Aquarium soil, but it's also a good idea to add liquid fertiliser all the way from the start. And we would be using, I would suggest, the Tropica Specialised Nutrition.
Yeah.
We're going to be using a lot of advanced category plants. These are especially hungry, and because they're 1-2 Grow, they're going to need even more food. So do bear that in mind.
Yeah.
So what species have we got here?
We've got Alacaris mini, which is a grass type plant.
Yep.
We've got Blossomon haliferae, which has got these lovely, what do you call this? I would say wavy leaves.
Crinkly.
Crinkly leaves, there we go.
Yeah.
And one I've never used before, this is the Gratiola
Viscadula.
Viscadula?
Yeah.
And this is quite interesting because it's this nice,
Yes.
it's almost triangular leaves.
Yeah, they're like needles.
They are, they're lovely.
And it does grow quite vertical.
Yeah.
So you'll get this, like I said, like a tree, almost like a
Yeah.
fir tree effect, almost little Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are accent. We're not going to deliberately kind of plant them equally all the way along. We don't want a solid carpet of the hair grass. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to plant them kind of intermittently in groups.
Me and George disagree over how to plant.
I'm very, how shall I say, robust with my planting.
Yeah.
Get a big old clump and whack it in, and
Yeah.
you're very delicate.
Individual
should we say.
stems is my
Yeah.
preference.
Well, I used to be like that. And then,
Did you?
Yeah, I think if I was doing it on my own at home, I would be, and that's what you're used to, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But in workshop environment, you're under time pressure,
You are.
and we just ain't got time for that.
Oh, Radu, you're a good assistant.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
What else do we have?
Oh, Rotala green would be good here because that's going to creep forward.
Yep, it will.
And then we put the HR. Oh no, we've got the micranthemum. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that now.
Yep. Do you want me to start planting at the back with the HR?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll do.
Or should I do the green coming across?
So I think. Yeah, green, Rotala green here.
Yep.
I'm going to do some micranthemum. Hemianthus micranthemoides
Yep.
down here.
That's a classic Brazilian plant.
And around here.
Yep.
And then HR.
Across.
And then
Okay.
obviously the valley.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe some Rotala green here.
Yeah, because then it can
It
creep
might
forward and
come
fall
over
down.
here. Yeah,
Yep, okay.
get rid of that one. Okay, so you do the green and the
Yep.
HR.
Shall I show people these?
Yeah, do you want to have, you can
Yeah,
actually chat
okay.
to people about that?
So we've got the Rotala Rundflora HR and Rotala Rundflora Green here. They've been prepped. Nice long stems on these.
And they are both medium category.
Both medium category. Yeah.
And we get loads of light on here, so the HR is going to go really red.
It will,
hopefully.
yeah.
Really vibrant, bushy appearance, which
Yeah.
what we're after in this Brazilian style layout. I've got some Hemianthus micranthemoides here. It's labelled as an advanced category, but I actually find it very easy. It doesn't, in my experience, even need CO2 injection. So
Okay.
something to bear in mind if you want a nice attractive stem plant, very compact. Under strong lighting will go super compact, but it does grow really quickly, which is great in a new setup because that's going to help prevent algae. So we're going to pop some of that here.
How does it respond to being trimmed?
Really well. Yeah, most stems I find respond well to trimming. Most will send out 2 shoots. Do you find that?
Yeah, I do.
And you can really promote this bushy appearance the more you trim it. And then you can replant those cuttings to boost that as well.
It's like never-ending plants. I do feed my shrimp. I normally feed them a mineral pellet about once a week and a daily food as needed. But most of my shrimp are actually there to eat algae. But I've got, I think, about 8 different shrimp colours.
Wow. All separate?
Yes. Well, I put the Caridina with Neocaridina dividi because they can't interbreed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I've got my high grade CRSs in with
crystal red shrimp for those that don't know
crystal red
CRSs,
shrimp. Sorry, crystal red shrimp. I've got high grade, about 80% white.
Okay.
I think it's a mix of, I think it's tiger tooth. Is it Momo?
Don't know.
I want to say mimosa, but that's
Mimosas.
mimosa shrimp. They're white with a little red dot on the shoulder.
Oh, nice.
Very, very pretty. But for me, it's about looking nice with the scape. So I don't really grade them as such.
Okay.
But I'll mix the different species.
Yeah.
I have some blue
I've never
bond.
heard of mixing Neocaridina and Caridina because you generally associate Neos with harder water.
You do.
But they're okay and softer, I guess. Must be.
Yeah, my water's hard.
Oh. But your Caridina are okay?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I keep them with CO2 as well.
Yeah. I find Neocaridina, like the bog standard cherry shrimp, are just so bulletproof.
They are. They are.
Yeah, because
I think
the
so.
sun's going to kind of fall down naturally, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, this is the moment of truth.
Yeah, and we can add more sand if we need to.
If you go that side, and we'll lift together.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we lean it back?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, lift.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's looking quite professional.
not bad. And do you want to do, with your delicate touch, would you like to do
Delicate
the sun
touch.
pathway? No pressure.
No pressure, exactly. Okay.
Should we move the light all the way forward now?
I think I can actually get underneath.
Okay. Whatever.
So, should we?
Start from there and work your way back, I'd say.
Yeah.
I've never done this technique before.
Really, I think I'm actually going to start here.
Yeah?
In the middle.
Go for it.
Just to give me a bit of a guide as to where it's falling.
Do you want to go a bit quicker?
Yeah, I'm just getting a little guide. Okay, now
1 grain per second.
Yeah, 1 grain per second.
I'll give you a hand. There's the other scoop somewhere. Where's all the scoops gone? Ah. There you go.
And this is going how far back?
All the way.
All the way?
Yeah, yeah. Vanishing point.
This is where we need to get our viewers to critique our sand path.
Don't ask for that.
No. Think they'll be harsh?
Yeah.
Does it look a bit too straight or is it okay?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do a bit more around here though, because we can see the soil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to start doing some detail. Yes.
Yeah.
You carry on with the.
Oh, that's looking quite nice, and cover that a bit.
Just cover all that up
yeah.
here, so we don't see any of the ugly black stuff through
No,
it.
yeah. Yuck.
Let's do a little position.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a kind of regular sort of gravelly, I can't remember the name of it, but we got it from Unimati. And it kind of harmonises with the stone and the sand. And then we actually have another grain size smaller than this to act as another transition, just to get this beautiful natural effect, hopefully.
Yeah.
And this is where hopefully the scape starts to really come together with these details.
Yeah.
I was a bit over enthusiastic with that one.
Do you want me to hide it with some sand?
Yeah.
But I can actually probably
You can probably just flick it.
flick it back a bit, yeah. It'll add to the look.
Yeah.
Should I put some sand around those as well?
Yep.
This medium grain maybe?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The HRR should spring up around here as well.
I think we're ready to start filling soon.
Ooh, very exciting.
So I'm just filling in these unnatural gaps here. These are going to creep forward, hopefully. They need trimming a lot. So whoever maintains this tank,
Yep.
you're going to...
Do we need a bit by here as well
Scissors happy.
to hide the sponge? Or do you think that one will
That will cover.
push up?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
good. It's pretty shaded, so...
We have another question on the screen.
Any moss blend on these rocks? Not yet. I don't like to add moss on brand new scapes generally because it attracts algae. So I normally wait for a scape to go in for 3 or 4 weeks and then I add the moss later. But we could add, there's loads of great textures here to add moss quite easily. We could even add tiny epiphytes, maybe some, if you had access to it, Anubias mini coin, maybe some small Bucophalandra species would look good. Ricardia, that would be lovely in here.
Yeah. Quite messy though.
Yeah. All right, should we start filling?
Yeah.
We've got our special water filling. I used one of these last time, didn't I? Should we move the light all the way forward,
We need
Sarah?
plastic sheeting as well, don't we?
Yeah. In fact, leave it there for now because
Yep.
we'll need to put this sheet in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've got really clean hands.
I'll let you do all the hard work, sorry. Yeah.
Equality.
Use a sponge as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sponge would be good, wouldn't it?
I should have brought my colanders.
Is it red?
No, I've got.
It's not a colander.
I've got nesting colanders actually.
Nesting colander.
Nesting. They were in the bargain section in my local supermarket.
Hopefully that's going to work as a colander kind of thing. So if I just turn this now.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
What's wrong?
It's still, you can see if you come
is
to the
it?
front. It's,
Is it not good?
You can put the bag on.
Bit too
Can you
extreme.
get when we get a bag as well.
Yep.
Underneath.
Do you want to use...
Yeah.
Yep.
and,
Oh, that's a nice soft plastic one. Do you have a preference with the thickness of plastic for your bags?
no. I use my red colander usually, so.
Do you need to pull that round on the side maybe a bit more?
So
I'll
what
go
we'd
back.
do on the first water change, I'd actually siphon out all of that soil from the top layer of that cosmetic sand and then just replace it with some new
Yeah.
probably.
And it's the big kind of, I guess, con, would you say, about these white sand on aquariums that people use in competitions? That every picture you take, you always clean out the excess soil
Yeah.
and redo it.
Yeah, it's not exactly a low maintenance.
No, but I use it in my garden.
The soil.
Yep, and the excess sand. I've got a
Okay.
mole problem at the moment,
Okay.
so I keep having bits that collapse in my garden for the mole burrows.
Yeah.
So I'm using the leftover soil in my tanks and sand to fill things in.
Makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, I would probably guesstimate 4 bubbles a second in here because there's so many advanced plants.
There are,
Be mind,
Yeah.
maybe test the pH, make sure it doesn't go below sort of 6.
yeah.
Yeah. Most plants don't like pH below 6 usually. So, I mean,
No.
some can go to 5 or so.
Yeah.
Some people talk about bacteria dying at really low pHs. I don't know
I've
if you've
seen
heard
that
about
actually.
Yeah,
I've actually had that happen.
like a pH crash.
I've had pH crashes when my bubble rate's been too high.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we're going to be ready to turn the filter
Yeah.
on soon.
maybe.
Is there
I'm
a net? Do we
yeah.
have a net available?
Must be a net somewhere.
Could be a net. There'd be millions of nets.
So I might actually only go with maybe start with a bubble every 2 seconds.
What?
Yeah, I'm actually quite low
quite
on my
conservative.
I'm quite conservative with my CO2.
I'm not. I'm like get it in there.
Yeah.
But I have hard water, so I guess I get away with it more.
But I also look at my fish as well. I use my fish as a guide.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
check the gills and I look to see what the activity is like on them. Do you ever have your lily pipes above the surface of the water to clear off the biofilm?
I don't have lily pipes.
You don't?
No.
Really?
I don't have rimless tanks anymore.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all lidded. All a while, though.
Ah.
But I have Escape Line 60.
Okay.
It's actually at a friend's house,
Oh,
which we're going to escape together at some point soon, hopefully.
very nice.
And we can put... No, we can't because it's going to be overexposed.
Ah, perfect.
You want that one for the rest
Did
one?
you know fish are scared of black nets?
No.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's such a big contrast in colour to what they used to.
They're terrified of black nets. I didn't realise till I started working in Martin. But fish are terrified of black nets.
Interesting. Just tidy that for round up a bit.
Yep.
Okay, good. So that is the scape complete. I'm really happy with it. You're
Yeah.
really happy with it.
I
I
am.
hope everyone's watching is happy with it. Stay tuned on YouTube, of course, for follow-ups on all the scapes that we're producing. We're going to hopefully do some more plant profiles as well in the longer term. So lots of great content coming your way on Tropica YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Tropica Aquarium Plants, and also Facebook. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one with a special new guest, which will be announced on the next newsletter. So make sure you're subscribed. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.